How can a clam cram cream in a clean cream can? How can a clam cram cream in a clean cream can? Cream. How can a clam cram cream in a clean? How can a clam cram cream in a clean cream can? It's too slow. I have a love-hate relationship with tongue twisters. I love using them in class to help students with common pronunciation errors, but I just hate it when I can't nail them. Do you know what I mean? At some point in this video, I'm going to show you the shortest yet most difficult tongue twister I've ever learned. It's only 2 words, but I bet that you can't say it first time, so keep an eye out for that. I teach a load of students whose first language is Mandarin Chinese. And I've also learned a little bit of Chinese, just a tiny chunk, just so I'm able to understand kind of the framework and how the pronunciation works from the base level. If you want to learn a little bit more about how I learned Chinese, then you can click the link in the wherever it is in the corner of this video. Anyway, the thing that I noticed was the tongue barely moves in the mouth in Mandarin Chinese. It kind of stays flat the whole time. This makes all of that crazy consonant cluster business and those mad diphthongs and strange vowel sounds in English all that more difficult for students. So what can we do to help them? Tongue twisters. I'm going to show you some of the common pronunciation mistakes that my students make, and I'm also going to show you some tongue twisters that I've made up to kind of battle these mistakes. Now, making up my own tongue twisters works, and I often do it on the spot, particularly when I find a new kind of pronunciation mistake that I've not seen before. I just make up a tongue twister and get the student to try it. As an example, let me show you this class. This is a screenshot from a class that I had very recently, and the student made this weird pronunciation mistake that I don't think I've ever heard before. Instead of saying solve problems, he said slow problems. And he was definitely trying to say solve. So I came up with this little tongue twister to help him out. Slowly solving problems will solve slow problem solving. So it doesn't really make sense, but after we drilled this a little bit and I was showing him the different mouth positions that we use for solve and slow, and showing him where the L comes after the S or whether it's after the vowel sound, you know, he got it, and this tongue twister really helped him to get there. So the point is, tongue twisters can be made up on the spot, and they can be kind of personalized for the student that you're teaching and for the problem that they're having in pronunciation. Anyway, let's take a look at the first common pronunciation mistake. R and L. This is probably the most common one. Words like right, ready, real often come out as light, leady, leal. Rice becomes lice, and it doesn't always happen at the beginning of the word either. It can happen in the middle. For example, yellow becomes yarrow. So try this tongue twister. Red and yellow lights, right the red and yellow lights light the roads for loaded. Red and yellow lights light the roads for loaded lorries. I made that one up myself. The next one is consonant clusters. And this is not too different from the one we just looked at, the R and L, because it usually does have an R or an L in it. When there's a group or cluster of consonant sounds right before a vowel sound, things get a bit complicated. Think of words that start with tr, fr, pr, dr, gr, cr, pl, gl, cl, fl. For example, tree becomes tli, play becomes pray, fly becomes fry, and so on. Notice that sometimes, not always, but sometimes an extra vowel sound kind of creeps in the middle of that consonant cluster between those two consonants. So friend might come out as filend. Alright, let's stop bullying these poor students and let's take a look at a few tongue twisters that can help them fix this problem. Friendly flying flies trying flavorful French fries. Friendly flying flies trying flavorful French fries. Clean green gleaming grapes. Clean green gleaming grapes. Plain prawns plums plain prawns plain prawns plums and prunes. Plain prawns plums and prunes. I made them up. You can use them, you can have them, you can make your own, whatever. If you do make some, put them in the comments. Okay, the next one, this is quite common. S and SH, or S and sh. The situation with these sounds, s, sh, z, ts, z, in Mandarin Chinese is not a very simple one. Separating s from sh at the beginning of words in English can be quite difficult for non-native English speakers. So here's a tongue twister that'll help them out. She sells seashells on the seashore, the shells that she sells are seashells, I'm sure. She sells seashells on the seashore, the shells that she sells are seashells, I'm sure. I think, did I make that one? Check the notes. Yeah, I made that one up as well. What? Okay, so the next one is v and u, or v and w. These sounds just don't exist to Chinese speakers. As far as I'm aware, anyway, I'm pretty sure that these sounds don't come up in their language. So, as you can imagine, they're a bit of a challenge for students. What tends to happen is the vibration on the lips that's needed there for that v, the V sound. You have that vibration on the lips, you can feel it when you do it. It kind of doesn't make it that far and it gets stuck in the throat and it makes more of a ooh, ooh sound. Words like very, violin, and velociraptor sound like werry, violin, velociraptor. What? Those are 3 words that everyone uses all the time, so I don't know what you even getting caught up on that. So here's one for you. The vet's wet white vest. The vet's wet white vest. So here's one that might suit those higher levels a little bit more for V and W. Very weird, vivid words varnished on veneered wood. Very weird, vivid words varnished on veneered wood. So I made those up. Again, they don't have to make sense. Here's another one. Vowel confusion. Vowel confusion is really, really common. It's a very common pronunciation mistake for Asian students to make when they're trying to learn English. But in particular, one that I notice is a and e. Confusing these two. A, e. What I find tends to be the case is that words that have an e sound often come out as having an a sound, particularly in CVC words. So bed, pet, ten, and even words like internet sound like bad, pat, tan, and maybe even like internet. That last one's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? But I swear I've heard that before. So we can fix this by practicing one of these tongue twisters. Pat's pet cat has a red and black hat. Pat's pet cat has a red and black hat. I'm proud of that one. If Ken has 10 black pens, can Ken pack Ben's pen bag? If Ken has 10 black pens, can Ken pack Ben's pen bag? I'm not as proud of that one because I know that they don't have to make sense, but that one's just ludicrous. Ludicrous. I say weird words when I make videos. There are probably loads of common pronunciation mistakes that you'll come across when you teach. One not mentioned in this video, well it is mentioned now because I'm gonna mention it, I didn't think that through, is words ending in N or V, especially words with an I sound before them. So I mean words like fine, they'll come out as fi, or nine, nigh, words like that. So the idea is to, you know, think of some of your own tongue twisters, find some online, and kind of have them ready to use in the class when you need to help students with pronunciation. All right, now it's time to reveal the shortest yet most difficult tongue twister that I've ever seen in my life. And it took me ages to nail this one. Before we look at it, I'd just like to politely ask you to consider liking this video, subscribe if you like this content, and you can follow me on Instagram as well, at iTutorJoe. All right, here it is. You ready? You sat comfortably? You sure? Take a deep breath. Irish wristwatch. Try and say that quickly. Cheers. Bye.